Hey, what's going on, guys? Mangum here, bringing you another Destiny 2 video. Okay, so what we're going to talk about is how to eliminate the grind, how to get the most out of Destiny 2 when you don't have a lot of time to play the game. Most of us have jobs, kids, family, other hobbies, things to do. You want to maximize your amount of time, but you don't want to be stressed out about the game. Now, if you don't play at a quote-unquote hardcore level, it's going to seem like there's a lot of things to do in the game. Gunsmith bounties, Crucible bounties, Vanguard bounties, Lectern bounties, Petra bounties, bounty, right? But we're not going to be focused on bounties in this video because bounties take up too much time and you don't have time for that. What we need to do is we need to remain focused on the things that we can accomplish in order to keep progression in the game and feel a sense of accomplishment. And that's where this comes into practice, is the immediate and the best focus that you can possibly have when it comes to figuring out how to maximize your time in Destiny 2. Now, Destiny 2 has many activities to play, but the only things that I want you to focus on is where you feel comfortable and where is your time going to be allocated to. Now, there are those three little hoppers at the bottom of the directory map, and that's going to have Gambit, that's going to have Crucible, and it's going to have strikes in there. Now, the reason why we focus on those three areas first is because those three areas have Pinnacle Gear. Now, the last one that we're going to focus on is going to be Nightmare Hunts. That's going to be one of the quickest activities that you can complete at end game. That's going to get you a sense of progression. Now, if we're talking about time and time alone, then what we're going to be talking about here is Nightmare Hunts. Then Nightmare Hunts are quick, they're easy, and once you master Nightmare Hunts, there's nothing really stopping you from doing one of the other three activities. So Nightmare Hunts can take you anywhere between 1 minute to about maybe 11 to 15 minutes if you're having a rough time doing them. They're the equivalent to any game speed run, and that's Destiny's version of speed running things. Nightmare Hunts aren't going anywhere. The moon isn't going anywhere November 10th when Beyond Light comes out. So when you pick one of those 4 activities, but we're going to say 3, Crucible, Vanguard Strikes, and Gambit, because Nightmare Hunts can be completed at an extremely fast rate. Now, the Pinnacle Gear that you're going to get from a Nightmare Hunt is completing a Nightmare Hunt on Master difficulty, which is about as hard to do as completing a Nightfall ordeal. So, nothing too much to stress about. The game says you may need Dreambane armor to increase your power, but we don't got to worry about any of that. So, now, why would I focus on one of those 3 tasks? Why would I want to do either Crucible, Vanguard Strikes, or Gambit? Is because when you complete a strike, you get gear. When you complete Crucible, you get more gear. When you complete Gambit, you get a lot more gear, right? So when you focus on doubling down on one of those 3 tasks, where's your sense of progression? You may ask, well, I'm only doing strikes. Strikes are easy. Well, the pinnacle activity, or the end game for strikes, is the Nightfall ordeal at Grandmaster difficulty. You don't have to go super crazy. Like, minimum, you may need to go to hero, so it's still a match-made activity. You don't got to find 3 friends to do it. You just go in there and knock it out. And then for Crucible, it's going to be comp. It's going to be comp for Crucible. You want to go in there, you want to knock out comp. Or if you do have the 3 friends to get together, you want to get together on trials for the weekend. Well, maybe you work on the weekend, so it's going to be comp, right? Maybe Rumble. We'll throw Rumble in there because Rumble is a hard activity for a solo player because you're by yourself and you're up against a whole lot of different Guardians on a small map. But I digress. Now, comp is going to be your end game. You're going to want the glory and the valor. And what that's going to do is every time you finish a match, you're going to get gear. Every time you rank up, you're going to get gear. And then you're going to get Crucible tokens, which gets you, hey, more gear, right? So you can go over to Shacks and you can cash out legendary shards. And then when cashing out legendary shards, you end up getting more gear. The name of the game is gear, and we want as much gear as possible, even if it's trash. If the gear is trash, if you don't need it, you break it down, you get legendary shards, and then you can take that to another resource in the game in order to get more progression. You see how everything feeds into each other? You're going to want to master one of those things. And when it comes to Gambit, the Gambit end game is going to end up being Reckoning. You're going to want that armor. If you see anybody in invasion armor, you're going to be like, hey, whoa, that guy is over there in invasion armor. I don't want him to come through the portal. And that's the type of fear, that's the type of thing that you want the enemy to think. There's not a lot of new guardians out there. There's not a lot of guardians out there who are thinking about getting into Reckoning, because Reckoning's been slammed so hard with saying, oh, Reckoning's hard, Reckoning, I don't have people to match. It's a match-made activity. If you can carry the team in Reckoning, if you can do just a little bit more than the average person, if that's your game mode, then you're going to come out on top. People are going to stick around. They're going to want to do more runs. You know, you can throw out an LFG and just gather some people up. Hell, go ahead, add me, Mangum Son. I'll do Reckoning with you. I'm available between Tuesdays and Fridays, you know? So you got a partner in this game. You got someone to look to if you need someone to run something with. Ain't got no issue with that, right? And when you end up getting your Sentry armor, your Invasion armor, or you end up getting any of the other armors that are out there, I don't have them all. I don't know what they're all called, because that's not my end game that I like to do when I don't have the time. I like going into regular Crucible. I like playing Control. That's the thing that I like to do. And when I have the time, I go ahead and go into comp. And I like to just get a little sweaty. So it's not about whether, like, oh, you can do the content, because you can do the content. I know you can. That's without a shadow of a doubt that you can do the content, because you play Destiny 2. You just have to find out which one of those 3 pieces of content that you're going to sit there and say, hey, I'm really good at that one. I'm going to be the best at that one. And ain't no one going to tell me anything different. Because when they see me in my full Gambit armor, when they see my Crucible loadout, they're going to be like, oh my god, that guy's here. Man, he takes the top of the leaderboards every single time. Or they'll be happy to have you on their Gambit team. It's all about you having fun. And when you end up having fun, you end up doing things better. Right? So think of any other hobby besides playing Destiny 2 and anything else that you have fun at, and you've probably gotten better at it. Beer pong, pool, what have you, swimming. It's the same concept. You gotta have fun with it in order to enjoy it more. But since Destiny 2 is such a vast game, most people don't end up having fun with it because they think they have to do it all. And I'm here to tell you that you do not have to do it all. You just have to focus on being the best at what you do. Watch any movie that has a badass in it. He's good at what he does. And people look at him and say, hey, I don't want nothing to do with that guy, because he's the best at what he does. Or they say, hey, I need that guy on my team because he's the best at what he does. That's how anything works. Eliminate the grind by first eliminating the grind in your mind. You don't need to do milestones or interference or raids or any of that. There's no time to do any of that. Do the things that you have the time to do. And there are easy things to do in the game that you do have time for. And I'm here to tell you those things are either strikes, Crucible, Gambit, or nightmare hunts, which will get you Pinnacle Gear, which will drop way above your light level and keep you in the game longer and keep you with a sense of progression. And I hope you guys liked the video. Please like, share, and subscribe. If you found this video helpful, please go ahead and share it with anybody else who needs to eliminate the grind. And if you need anything else from me, or if you want to see me do any other videos on any other topic, let me know in the comment section below, and I'll see you in the next one.